morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We have a great show for you, so let's get started. If you are a golfer or an aspiring golfer, you're in luck because I'm taking you inside of Summit Physical Therapy to learn how physical fitness and training can help you improve your swing technique. Then it's Women's Wealth Wednesday, where Foster Financial shares some tips to help us save money while giving charitable donations. And later, Neighborhood Health shares how they are providing health services to our community. That and more starting now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Summit Physical Therapy. Are you looking to improve your golf swing? Well, you're in luck. Today I'm at Summit Physical Therapy, and they're going to show us how physical therapy and physical fitness can actually help give you some new skills. I'm going to talk to Andreas. Let's go in. I am now joined by Andreas Lomar, who is a certified physical therapist and owner of Summit Physical Therapy. Hi, Andreas.
How's it going, Jessica?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
And it's nice to be in your space.
Yeah.
This is my first time visiting this location. You have two.
Correct.
Very nice, very welcoming, and very warm. So I really like being here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about something really cool, which is a TPI evaluation. So
Correct.
Start off by sharing with us, what is that?
So TPI, first of all, stands for Titleist Performance Institute. So Titleist, approximately 20 years ago, started collecting data from PGA Tour professionals, looking at what do these professionals bring to the table from a musculoskeletal standpoint, from a physical standpoint, that the average recreational golfer does not. So they looked at various things. They looked at strength, flexibility, body awareness, postural awareness, their ability to separate upper body from lower body, a lot of things that really matter in the golf swing. So I think a lot of golfers spend, countless hours on the driving range, sometimes guessing what they might be doing wrong, and sometimes being unaware that they might have physical limitations too that keep them from really producing a proper golf swing, not just because they don't know how, but because they have physical limitations. And so TPI is very helpful in pinpointing those deficiencies and really helping them structure their workout and their practice much more specifically to their needs.
Okay, and so this evaluation really benefits those who play golf, who are interested in playing golf, just really understand how their body moves and, like you said, their limitations, because it's not about the skill, but it's about their physical therapy, literally. Who
Correct.
knew that connected? That's really cool.
So it's not just the recreational golfer that benefits from this. A lot of PGA Tour players work with TPI professionals. In fact, I believe it was either last year or the year before where out of 64 PGA Tour winners, 52 players worked with the TPI professionals. So I think that should just speak for itself that these players have recognized the value, and they also have physical limitations. I mean, very famous players like Jon Rahm from Spain, who just won the Masters, has physical limitations. But obviously he plays quite well because he knows how to work around his physical limitations and not let that impact his game very much.
Okay, and through this evaluation, there's certain things that you're looking for within the body, and you run the test. It lasts, about an hour long?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. We give some corrective exercises at the end.
Okay.
And so the client walks home, and so now they have a better idea of what they really should be working on. And I can almost say I've never had a client that works on the correct things. So they always think I need to work on this. I don't hit the ball long enough. I don't turn far enough. And when they leave, they're working on something completely different. So it gives them a little bit more clarity on what they should really be targeting.
So this is really interesting. And so I am not a professional golfer by any means, but I would like for you to kind of see, how do I evaluate?
Okay, you want to do it?
Off, yeah.
Okay, sounds great. So have you ever hit a golf ball?
Yes.
Okay, well, act as if you're hitting a golf ball. We won't give you a club,
okay.
So you just go ahead and act as if you're hitting a golf ball, okay? So let's have you spread your feet just a tiny bit. So there you go. All right, so from that position, can you make your back arch more? Okay, so there went the first combination. So our head went back, not too much happened here. So can you flatten your back? Okay, so that's good. So can you arch more? Okay, and then flatten it again. Okay, so arch one more time, and then now just flatten a tiny bit. There you go. So that would be a neutral position. So that means you're not fully arched, and you're not completely flat. Okay, and that's kind of like where we want you. Okay, because otherwise, this is not just about performing better, squeezing the last few yards out of your drive, but it's also about injury prevention. So in a very locked position, you're injuring areas in your back that we refer to as facet joints. If you're too flat, you can give yourself disc problems. So either way, you might cause yourself a problem that could take years to really manifest itself.
Right.
But so it's not going to show up the first time you play a round of golf. Okay, but golf is one of those sports that, unlike many other sports, we see people play in their 80s. So,
right, yeah.
And unfortunately, we see a lot of people give up the sport because of injuries. Right. And I don't think it needs to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay?
So let's see the isolation part. So show me the isolation test.
So when it comes to isolation, so if we look at, can you rotate your upper body against your lower body and vice versa? Okay, so we'll have you kind of sit back, kind of like you're sitting back on a bar stool. Okay. Nope.
Like that?
There's the bar stool, okay? So from there, we'll have you keep your hips still. Now, can you rotate your upper body without moving your lower body? Okay, that's actually not too bad, okay? So sometimes we will go ahead and we'll say, okay, I'm gonna hold you here and now do it again. And then it gets a little bit easier, right? Okay.
I can go further.
All right, so stay in that position if you can.
Okay.
And now this one is a little tougher. So can you hold your upper body still and now just rotate your lower body underneath your upper body? We're gonna make you a golfer.
Hey.
that's really good.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm on my way.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna hold you here and then rotate right, rotate left. Okay. So that's a good start.
And this is also called getting your boogie on. Little dance moves in there. Yes.
Yeah, it goes better with music.
Yes. You're gonna teach me how to salsa.
I mean, I could talk for a long time about this.
No, this is good. Okay. You all have to stay tuned for part 2 of this informative conversation about TPI evaluations next week. And if you would like more information about Summit Physical Therapy, you can visit their website. We'll have that listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Summit Physical Therapy.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Women's Wealth Wednesday, where each week we give you vital information on how you can have financial success. And joining me today is Caleb Doan, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
You as well.
So we're continuing this conversation. So last Women's Wealth Wednesday, we were discussing how women are super charitable, of course, but how they can have different tax advantages from their giving. So we discussed the stocks, but today we're going to talk about something different. Qualified Charitable Donations. Whew, you have to tell us all about that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I know we talked about how, most studies tend to show that women are a little bit more charitable minded than men. So I thought it'd be a good thing to kind of focus on. And, right now the tax deadline is coming up here too. So a lot of people are kind of focused on taxes. And I think there's kind of this misconception out there that, if I don't donate enough to itemize my donations on my taxes, if instead I just take the standard deduction, then I don't really get any tax advantages from the donations that I do.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case. And so, we talked last week about how, if people are donating appreciated stock, that's one way that they can get a tax advantage. And today's kind of tax advantage, like you said, is with these QCDs, or Qualified Charitable Distributions or donations. And these actually apply to people who are over the age of 70 and a half and have pre-tax retirement accounts, like a 401k or IRA. And so it's certainly a good strategy for people to leverage.
Okay, so but it is specific to that age.
Yep.
Okay, and do they have to have a specific retirement account to do that, or is it not related to retirement at all?
Yeah, so as long as they have a pre-tax retirement account,
so
whether it's a 401k, 403b, IRA, or whatever it is, they'll be able to leverage these QCDs. And a lot of times, this is something that we apply to people who are already donating, but they're just not getting the full tax advantage that they could otherwise be getting if they were using QCDs. And what QCDs allow you to do is that typically when people withdraw money from their retirement accounts, they actually have to pay ordinary income tax when they withdraw that money.
Right.
But if instead that money just goes directly to, their church or a nonprofit organization, they don't have to pay any income tax at all. And so, if somebody, especially if people are in, a high tax bracket, it can save them a lot in taxes.
So is that kind of like a middleman account? Does the money physically move from your retirement account into a QCD and then your QCD to your giving institution?
Good question. So it's actually a little bit of like cutting the middleman out, a little bit.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say, there's a lady out there, she's, 75 years old. She has, Social Security, maybe a little bit of a pension, but that doesn't quite cover what her typical, annual needs are. And so she typically withdraws, let's say, $10,000 from her IRA. And let's also say, she's a faithful giver at her church, and she typically donates about, $10,000 a year to her church. Well, at the end of the year, the $10,000 that she donated to her church wouldn't have been enough for her to take or for her to itemize on her taxes.
Right.
And so she would just take the standard deduction and think, hey, I didn't really get much benefit, tax-wise from that. And she would also have to pay ordinary income taxes on the $10,000 that she withdrew from her IRA to supplement her income. And so, if she was in the 22% tax bracket, she would have to pay $2,200. However, if, the next year, instead of taking that, money from the IRA, putting it in her checking account, and then writing checks to her church from her bank, instead, what we do with clients, we actually give them a checkbook to their IRA. And then they can write checks directly to the church from their IRA. And then that way, at the end of the year, she still gets to take the standard deduction, but that $10,000 that came out of her IRA is no longer taxable. And so it saves her, $2,200 in taxes every single year for her retirement. And so, if I see people who are over the age of 70 and a half in retirement, who are donating from their checking account, part of me, I just say, oh my, you're leaving money on the table, you're paying too much in taxes, and so it's a good strategy for people to use.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you can actually take that deduction straight from that account, that IRAs have checks that you can use, and kind of what we discussed the last time with the stocks even, that you can literally, there's a path from stock to giving.
Right.
So that's really cool and interesting. And are there any specific qualifiers that that one has to consider, though, when it comes to a QCD? Is it something that they can go into their bank to open up, or do they go through their financial advisor?
Yeah. Typically, people will go through their financial advisor.
Okay.
So, if people have, an IRA at Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade or Fidelity, typically all of these companies can help with that. And so, what we do with our clients, we use TD Ameritrade. And so we're able to give them that checkbook to their IRA. They're able to write checks just like they normally do, and then, experience those tax savings.
So is there a better path? We talked about different options to be able to save on your taxes. So the stock route directly from your IRA, if people have both as resources, How would they make that decision?
That's a good question. Yeah, typically it depends on a lot of factors. It also depends on, what's going to happen to the money when this person passes away, how the money's going to be inherited. It depends on the tax bracket of the people who are inheriting the money. And so, that's one of the pieces of being a holistic financial advisor is that everyone is going to have a slightly different scenario that saves them the most in taxes.
Right.
And so we're able to consider all those things and help people make the right decision.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Caleb. I appreciate it. And as you can see, there are so many reasons why you need a financial advisor to help navigate you through hard times, economic changes, and so much more. You can contact Foster Financial. We'll have their information listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
This segment sponsored by Neighborhood Health. Neighborhood Health is a healthcare home for everyone, offering one-on-one care in a compassionate and respectful manner. Here to share more with me today is Sarah Neese, the Director of Mission Advancement. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. So great to be here.
Yes, you look beautiful. I told you,
Thank you.
that red is popping.
Hey.
I love it. So let's start off by you sharing with us about Neighborhood Health.
Yes, so Neighborhood Health has actually been around for over 50 years. So we started off in 1969 as a well baby clinic.
Wow.
And with volunteer doctors at that time and serving patients really who needed it most, mothers and children, infants. So we've been here, we've expanded along the ways, and we're just excited to share our services because I think we're kind of one of those best kept secrets, but we don't want to be a secret anymore,
So that's so incredible. 50 years is amazing. And so the whole concept of healthcare home for everyone, what does that mean? What services do you offer?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. So we have primary medical. So of course, you need that preventative checkup or something, is going wrong. Of course, you call us. But then we have women's health, so some specialty services. We have dental, you need that checkup for dental or emergency care for dental. We have optometry, a wide variety of glasses, even a wide variety of Medicare, Medicaid approved glasses. And then we also have recently offered chiropractic services, which is a new line. So. And then lastly, behavioral health services. And so we know that mental health care especially, has become more prevalent after COVID. We realize we have to treat the whole person. And so every piece matters.
Every piece matters. And you cover every piece, which is great. And so, and just to clarify, is this a facility that people go in, they get the health care and the health services, or do they need to come in with their own health care to receive your services?
Yes, that's a great question. So we are actually for all payer types. And so if you have insurance, you have private insurance or public insurance, come to us, great. If you don't, we offer a sliding fee scale where it's income based. So you can actually pay as low as $5 a visit for behavioral health, as low as $20 a visit for a medical visit. And so, we're here for everybody.
Wow, that's really incredible. It really is, and so needed. And so what do you feel are some misconceptions that people have as they're trying to understand your organization more?
Yes, I think that people don't realize, first of all, the array of services that we offer. They may say, oh, if something emergency comes up, let me go. Or if you don't have insurance, then you go to Neighborhood Health, And of course, please come to us if you don't have insurance. But we're really here for everyone. We also have these supportive services as well. We serve those who speak another language opposed to English. And so we have interpretation services on site as well as video interpretation services. So that's really important to us. And then I think the fact that we have multiple locations. And so we have our downtown location off Calhoun. We also have a site that's off of East Paulding Road. And then we're getting ready to open a third clinic location as well. And so just the variety of services, the variety of care, the variety of payer types, I think, and the fact that we've been here, we've been doing this, we have experts, we're, though we started off having volunteers, they are no longer volunteers, they are very well-versed paid, physicians, nurse practitioners, dentists, licensed clinical social workers, and so the quality of care is top notch.
I love that. I mean, 50 years,
Yeah.
there's experience there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I
yes.
love that you all have evolved
Yes.
and have grown and continue to add new services and working on new projects. So share with me
Yes.
about the Oxford project.
Yes, so the Oxford project, it's really our passion project. Though we serve over 50 zip codes, patients from over 50 zip codes, the highest percentage of those patients actually come from 46806. So that's the Oxford neighborhood. And so just trying to find a way to better serve not only those patients, but reach the 15,000 patients that are there that aren't being served with their healthcare needs, where they have transportation barriers sometimes, and other barriers to care. And so the old former Ward School building, was going through a transition, and the neighbors actually rallied to save that building. And, they're very passionate about our services. And so it was just kind of the perfect fit. And we were able to take ownership of that building, and now we're in the process of a capital campaign where we're raising funds because, we know that transformation is not cheap, but it's worth it.
Right,
It's worth it
yes.
for that community who have a lot of health disparities. Neighborhood health is all about health equity, and that means providing the right kind of services, the right kind of care for those who need it. And so you've probably heard recently in the news about the infant mortality rate in the 46806 neighborhood. And a lot of that has to do with access to care. If you don't have transportation, or it takes you 2 hours on the bus to get somewhere, where if you're in the backyard, you can just walk there and get care, it's different. And so we want to be there. We want to be there with expert care. We want to have the team surrounding that. If maybe you came in for prenatal health needs, but you have some postpartum depression, now we're here with behavioral health services to meet those needs, because it's not just one thing. It's really holistic care. So
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing that wonderful information. I know it's so valuable, and I learned a lot too.
It is. It is.
It is, yes. And, neighborhood health, they are currently welcoming new patients. So if you are interested in learning more, you can check out their website, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Neighborhood Health. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you would like to rewatch episodes of Living Local 15, check out WANE.com or the WANE app. And remember, it's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.